What if peace wasn't something distant, but something we practice together? Presented by New Thought Media Network, this is the Peace Dialogues with Reverend Christy Semple. Hear from today's peace influencers. Discover new perspectives on growing peace. Explore practical spirituality you can live every day. Because peace isn't just an idea, it's a way of being. Find out how you can become a peace influencer too. The Peace Dialogues with Reverend Christy Semple. Thursdays at 9 a.m. Mountain Time. Only on New Thought Media Network. And now, here's Rev Christy.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you are joining us from here, and welcome to Peace Dialogues, where we inspire new awareness that the garden of peace is growing in our world, and the seeds of peace are being planted and nurtured by people just like you and me every day through practical spirituality in real life. And today and each week, we hear from a peace influencer who's involved in activities that are inspiring peace in our world every day. And we're going to learn a whole new perspective on what it really means to grow peace and how we can be peace influencers too. And I'm your host, Reverend Christy Semple, a fellow gardener with you in the Garden of Peace in our world. And we're going to have a peace dialogue here today that will open us up to have new eyes to see that peace really is happening right here and right now. And I'm so pleased and excited to welcome our guest today. Please join me in welcoming James Osch. Hello, and welcome. We are so grateful to have James with us today. And when we get started here in a minute, I'm going to have him tell you all about where he is joining us from. I want to give a little bit of background here, fascinating background, and I'm looking forward to hearing from him. James is a storyteller who has spent his life following unconventional paths, from running Mercedes diesels to Africa and guiding huskies through Arctic landscapes to living aboard a nutshell of a sailboat in the Netherlands and building an off-grid studio in the Spanish mountains. With a professional background in media and video editing, James's work centers on finding light in dark places, living intentionally, and helping people step into their own authentic narrative. Oh, my goodness, all which inspires peace within and emanates from us. And in a little bit, I'm going to share, I'll be sharing his YouTube channel and his website. But before then, again, let's welcome James. And so glad to have you here today with the beautiful backdrop of the trees. And I'm going to let you tell us where you are joining us from. We look forward to hearing all about that.
Hello, Reverend Christy. I'm so grateful for you having me. I am joining you today from Andalusia in Spain, from a beautiful finca. You can't see that much of it, but it is a very green place in a very dry surrounding. And today we are just watering the gardens here. There is Moorish irrigation systems that are 1,000 years old that are bringing snow water down from the Sierra Nevada to the gardens here. And we're opening little channels, closing little channels, and bringing water to this garden, which also is a garden of peace.
Oh, that's beautiful. And to know about those ancient irrigation systems. And I love that, because it reminds us of the many ways to nurture the garden around you and the garden within, and that the supply, right? The supply of good, the supply of plenty is all around, and bringing that as it comes down from the mountains. Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. And the village that you are. Well, I'm going to have you as your storyteller, and you have many adventures. I'm going to open this up to share with all those listening, whether it's now or whenever they listen to this, your background and a highlight of some of your adventures that brought you here, reminding us of that adventure of unfoldment and opening to that and allowing that. So I'm going to turn that over to you.
Okay, thank you. So I grew up in Luxembourg, which is a tiny little country here in Europe. My father Luxembourgish, my mother from Austria. We are all a mix of people in Europe, really. And yeah, my first adventure really was, the start of it was very sad. My father passed away under quite terrible circumstances. And at the same time, I already had two husky girls, but I had absolutely nothing to do with dog sledding. And in the 90s, that I'm talking about, the 1990s, huskies were a bit of a fashion. So there were many huskies around that were living in apartments, destroying the apartments. I was living in France at the time, and I got a call from a rescue association called SOS Husky. And they told me, we know that you have two huskies, and we just got a mail. He's looking for a home. Just come and look at him. And we went there. It was a garden scene a little bit like this. And we drove there. We let the two husky girls out into the garden. They let out Indy, was his name, the male husky, out of their front door. And the dogs were running towards each other like in a Disney movie, meeting in the middle. And it was love at first sight. And of course, we took Indy with us. I then had a journey to Luxembourg, where I discovered my father, who had passed away, which was quite traumatizing. But 2 months after this, Bashka, one of the husky girls, had 8 puppies. And a week later, her sister had another 5. And so we were in a country that hardly gets any snow, Luxembourg, with 17 sled dogs. First, we were thinking about selling them, and then we decided. I had a business partner and friend at the time, Philip, who is still running dogs in Finland, where I'm getting to now. We decided one night, we're not going to sell the dogs, we're going to the north, and we're going to run sleds. And we had no idea what we were getting into. For me, it ended up being a 10-year adventure up in Finland. And as I said, my friend is still there at the Russian border doing dog sled tours now.
Oh, how about that? Oh, how about that? That's the unfoldment of life, and feeling that pull. And you talked about, with your father, and the experiences that are part of our healing, and how that universe is calling, and you with the dogs, the different factors that are part of that story of our lives, and how that is, you opened up to that. Oh my goodness, going somewhere, as you said, that you didn't know about, but to open up, that livingness of life, and how that contributes to peace, because it's that livingness, right, of who we are and being. And the dogs, oh my goodness, and how animals can certainly, they're a part of nurturing peace, aren't they?
Absolutely. Animals, dogs especially, but also cats. I don't say I'm a dog or a cat person. I like both of them. It's a thread that runs through my whole life. I grew up with a dog, then I had the sled dogs. Later on, when I was living in Holland, well, yeah, let's continue the story then. For personal reasons, I had to give up dog sledding at some point, but I then had another rescue dog, a Rottweiler, who came with me from Finland to Canada and back to Holland, and he was living with me on that tiny sailboat in Holland, and he had a quite bad start into his life, and then he had a very good few years with me. And and he also, in a way, he taught me to let go of fear, because he was a dog. He just did not know fear. And then after him, I got a Spanish rescue dog who was the exact opposite. He had also had a really, really bad start into life, and he came to me. And I had him for 5 years when I came to Spain, and the plan was not at all to stay in Spain. I was actually going to live in Uruguay, and the plan was to move there with a sailing boat. But this particular dog, he was a rescue dog here from Spain, and he had his horrible experiences in Sevilla. And on the way to meet the sailing boat with which I was supposed to go to Uruguay, we had to pass through Sevilla. And even though I already had him for 5 years and he was living in Austria with me, he must have smelled or felt that we were approaching the place where he had his traumatizing experiences. I saw him in the mirror, in the rear view mirror of the car, shaking and shivering, and he immediately fell very ill. This is 8 years ago. I stopped my Uruguay journey there and then, and for the first time in my life, I did not have a plan. I just knew I can't go on the journey with my dog. And so I stayed in Spain, and again, doors opened up that I could not have imagined. For 2 years, I ended up living in a chapel from the 13th century on the top of a mountain, making friends in the village nearby, doing Temascal sweat lodge rituals with shamans from Mexico. So I never made it to South America, but here in Spain, I got involved with South American culture.
Oh, oh my goodness. And you said it was amazing how people came into your life. And, and I was thinking too about love, because that love for your dog and how that guided you, and what you were doing and the choices that you made, and how that is. There's a beautiful song, "Love is at the root of who I am. Love is at the root of who we are." And that love guided you, and how that, inspired that, that continuing relationship with your dog, and you stayed there, and the dog was there with you for a long time after that, right? I mean, you stayed there with him, and
Absolutely, yes. He was 12 years old when I arrived here in Spain, and he made it to 18 years of age, which is quite an age for a little Spanish dog with a bad start into life. And there's one particular thing that I noticed with this dog. So every time when we stayed in a place for a while, he would get bored and get old, basically, just nothing new to discover. But because my adventure here in Spain has led me to different places, so I was living in the Pyrenean mountains, then I moved to Barcelona. From Barcelona, I moved a little bit further south, also at the coast, to Tarragona. And from there, I moved down here to Andalusia, to a community in the mountains. And every time we moved, he got a new surge of energy and new things to discover, a new lease on life. And a little bit, that's also the story of my life. I am a bit of a nomad spirit.
Oh, well, that's so interesting that you say that, because it's that recognition, when we recognize and see who we are, that's who you are, that's who your dog was. And that's helpful in that being at peace of who we are, that nomad spirit, as you said, and you recognize that. And that's who I am. That's who your dog is. And I think that there's a lot to be said for that, for peace. I had shared earlier, we were talking before the show about how for almost my whole life I had felt this pull about being a minister. My great-grandfather was a minister, and you feel that. And I didn't go. I graduated from ministerial school just a couple years ago. So many life experiences, but in that recognition, this is who I am. And you're recognizing this is who I am. That's important in feeling peaceful in your dog, recognizing that. And I'm so glad that you shared all these are beautiful life experiences. And along the way, I know, tell us about when and how you discovered Science of Mind, because that's interesting also, and how that weaves into your experiences here.
That is quite the story. That is a very recent discovery here in this very place where I am now. I do look quite a lot at different YouTube channels, and also I let YouTube guide me with their suggestions. And I discovered a new channel that is called Just to See What Happens. And I already thought, well, that's quite an interesting title for a channel, Just to See What Happens. And I clicked on a video, and it is a lady from Brazil who at the time lived in France and who is doing 15-minute episodes about philosophical questions, about life questions. And what she had to say in this episode, I really liked. It resonated. And I thought I'm going to have a look at the comments, what people say about this episode. And I stumbled about one comment where a man from the United States wrote that it resonates a lot with him, what she had to say, and that he is active in the Centers for Spiritual Living, and that it also, what she said in the episode is very much aligned with the philosophy that he follows. And then I thought, well, that sounds interesting. Let's look up Centers for Spiritual Living. And I found the website, and I tried to get in touch by sending an email. And then a couple of days later, I thought about it, and I thought, no answer has come. And I thought I have to dig a little bit deeper, and found the map on the website of people all over the world that are part of CSL. And I found Bonnie. She was at the time still registered as living in, I think it was Ireland, and I wrote to her, and she immediately got back to me and invited me to the Global Outreach Zoom meeting. And that's how I met you, Reverend Christy.
Yes, indeed. I love that. That unfoldment. And it was wonderful that you went to that YouTube channel. And as you're speaking here, I'm thinking there's a wonderful book called The Universe is Calling by Eric Butterworth. And I love these things that you're saying, because it's the universe is calling. Something was calling to you to look up onto YouTube. There was readiness in you for learning about something new, and the how it the wonderful pathway that connected you with Centers for Spiritual Living. And then, as you said, there was the Global Outreach Committee of CSL, and you were in the meeting, and I'm a member of that committee. I thought, so the way that we connect with people, and again, it's that opening up and that listening. And so I appreciate you sharing that, and that how that resonated with you and the activities of your life. And so along those lines, you talked about YouTube. You have, tell us about your website and your YouTube channel, because it relates just to what we're talking about here, and your work that you do in guiding people. And I love one of the episodes, and I'll turn this back over to you. Every end is a beginning, and out of the dark. It's this discovery of who we are. And I'm going to turn that back over to you, and I'll put a couple of banners up here that give your YouTube channel and website. So tell us more about that.
Thank you very much. I'll go back a little bit in history, and I go to the year 2009. I was living in Vienna at the time, and I was studying something that is called international development, basically about development help for countries in Africa, South America, and Asia. And while I was doing that, I realized that a lot of the initiatives, the money isn't really going to the right places, and I don't want to be a part of this system that is collecting money here that then ends up being spent for buying arms. And then I was thinking, what could I do? And at the time, what is called video journalism was just taking off, because the technology was getting more affordable, more available. And I did a quick, it was just over 6 months course in video journalism. And my idea was actually to start making documentaries about the horrible state of the world. It never happened, though. While I was looking for a sponsor to do a series, I found a company in Austria, and I thought I'm going there for sponsorship, and I ended up working for them. I ended up in the marketing department. So all my work was positive, of course. We had to sell shoes and seminars and many things that are happening under the roof of this company in Austria. And that's how I got into making videos, and I stayed on the positive side. Until this day, I have never made a negative video. I have made positive videos for many people. And mostly I have been hiding behind the camera. That's where I'm making the bow to now. I once started to make some little videos with my dog where I was actually in the picture, but I never really got the confidence. And recently now, also just a few weeks ago, I felt the call. I have a list of titles from years ago, over 100 that I had made once because I wanted to write a book about my life story and combine it with the lessons of my life. And I have never done that because I have a hard time sitting in front of the computer typing for a long time. And now I have started to make a YouTube series where instead of writing these stories, I am telling them. And it is helping me to get the stories out, and it is giving me confidence of talking in front of people.
Oh, that's beautiful. Here again, it is that you heard, that you listened, you felt that call to do something different and new. And it is that shining of who you are, that speaking, that storyteller, as you said, that different way of being a storyteller, right? Instead of the typing, you opened up to speaking just as you are. And that's wonderful, because that is part of peace, feeling peaceful within, and then that emanation of these ideas and that inspiration of peace in the world. And that's here at Peace Dialogues, that's the idea. Peace is such a vast idea, isn't it? With many facets, and we're each a part of it in our own way. And I love that. Well, I've put the YouTube channel up here so people can see that. And there's one, and I'll have you talk about this. The title of this one episode, Out of the Dark, right? Out of the dark, and that every end is a beginning. Oh, that's profound. Again, I look forward to sharing a little bit about that episode with us, and then people can go to your channel and watch.
Yeah, thank you very much. It is basically the essence of my life. The first episode is about what we have already talked about earlier, when I was living in France and I lost contact with my father. He didn't pick up the phone, and I decided I have to go to Luxembourg. Something is wrong, and I made the terrible discovery, which was an end, but it was also the beginning of 10 years of Arctic adventures. And these things have happened over and over in my life, that something came to an end. It wasn't so pretty, but it was like the seed for something new was already growing underground. And it needed the finishing of one episode for it to come out of the ground and to be able to grow. And yeah,
that's profound. That is the seed that is there. And that your awareness and recognition of that, and how a profound and challenging experience happened, and then there's that seed of something there to grow, and how you recognize that. And sometimes if we push those things down, that doesn't nurture our peace, right? If we don't recognize that, or push it down, or push it away, and so that's so important. Just as in nature, when there are things that happen in nature, even if it's very, very cold, that's something we could think, oh, that's so challenging. But still, what rises up again in the spring? I mean, we had an exceptionally cold winter here in southwestern Pennsylvania, where I live, and I said, oh my goodness, concerned about some of the plants with the snow piled up on top of them, and then you see in the spring, but that was there all the time, and coming up and thriving. And so that's so beautiful that you saw that. And so that's in the first episode, or the episode, one of the episodes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It is the first one. It is only the first one that is out there. I am planning to film the next one tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Well, we invite people to stay tuned and watch for that. And I'll be checking that out as well. I'll be going to your YouTube channel as well to check that out. And speaking of gardens, I'm going to have you share with us tell us about the gardens there that the mayor has started in your area, the Garden of Peace.
So yes, that is quite interesting. A few years ago, as conflict in the world was getting into another gear, let's say, the mayor here of the village, it is a small village. I think we have 1,500 inhabitants spread over 7 little villages that are connected together, had the idea of joining a worldwide network of villages of peace. And he did so. Every Sunday, there is a little meeting of people on the village square where they're just going to meditate for peace in the world. And he also, he bought actually a piece of land to convert it into, I think the design will be Japanese, but into a peace garden where everybody can go to meditate for themselves and of course for peace in the world. And I think it is a beautiful initiative that he has taken here. And it is also, sometimes you might think, these few people down there in Spain that aren't really affected, what can they do? But I think we are all connected to a common conscience, a common spirit. And I think it is important that everybody is aware of what's going on in the world and does their part, whether it be meeting on Sundays, going to a peace garden, watering the gardens here. It is such a peaceful activity. Sometimes people are a bit stressed here as well. It is not a paradise like the rest of the world. But I noticed, and I've noticed it before, I helped people water their gardens already in Catalonia. I've helped people here do it because it is quite a bit of work. You have to go up the mountain to open the water where where it goes into the channel. Then you have to come back down and make sure everything gets water and so on. And I've noticed, when people are doing this, nature and their activity of just making sure everything gets nurtured makes them feel at peace.
There you go. That is so profound, what you just said, how each person, and you talk about the little villages. Oh my goodness, these activities, the beauty of that, of what you're doing there, and that connection with the whole world, and what each of you are doing, what the mayor is doing, and how that awareness, that the watering, how inspiring that can be, and to notice that and feel that and take that into meditation. And that's so beautiful. Thank you. I love hearing about that. I'm inspired, and so I appreciate you sharing that. And oh my goodness, I'm sorry, you inspired me so much with that. I love hearing that. What we're going to do here, we're halfway through our show, so we're going to take just a quick 2-minute break here. I'm going to show a couple messages here about other activities on the New Thought Media Network, and then we will come back and talk some more. And we have, I know, more wonderful things to hear about. So stay with us here, and you will see us again in just a moment. Thank you. Thank you.
New Thought Media Network proudly presents the Global Heart of Peace's Peace Party. Celebrate the many paths to peace. Explore an exciting life of peace. Embody joyous peace. Come to our weekly Peace Party, Mondays at 5 p.m. Mountain Time. Only on New Thought Media Network. www.ntmedia.org.
What if you had a place to return to every day for peace, clarity, and connection? The New Thought Ministry of Prayer offers live morning and evening prayer, along with a growing library you can access anytime. This is a space for reflection, renewal, and real spiritual practice, rooted in the understanding that something greater is already alive within you. You are welcome here. Join us live or watch anytime. The New Thought Ministry of Prayer, part of the New Thought Media Network. Come, take a moment for what matters most.
There we go. And talking about tools here, other tools here at the New Thought Media Network for nurturing peace. The Peace Party, a short 15-minute segment of practical ideas to nurture peace that other people are practicing and we can practice too. And then the daily prayer, live prayer, 8:15 a.m. and 8:15 p.m. Mountain Time, to listen to live or to go back and listen to previous episodes to nurture the garden within. And if there's anything here today that has inspired you, well, I'm sure you're inspired. If you feel so called to give in thanks and support, we welcome you to do so. It nurtures this show and all that we do here for the world and humanity and you. So that's givebutter.com/peace dialogues. So thank you for all who are here now and joining us at any time. And we are here today with our wonderful guest, James Osch. And oh my goodness, we've been hearing beautiful stories of his adventures in life and opening up, listening to the universe calling and opening up to experiences and recognizing that even in when there are challenges and sadness and that there's something there within to rise and to grow, and how he has experienced that and how he is sharing that in new ways with the world. And I'm so grateful for that. And we have a guest here who's Wayne Baldwin from Calgary. We are so grateful. Thank you, Wayne, for joining us here. So we're from Calgary, from Spain, where James is, and I'm in southwestern Pennsylvania here in the United States. And so reminding us of one, right? We're all connected in the one. And before we continue, because we have much more to listen to from James, I was inspired. I'm going to, when I was reading the Science of Mind magazine this week, and Science of Mind magazine is published by Centers for Spiritual Living that we were speaking about earlier. And a couple of things stood out. I thought, oh, this ties right into what we're talking about here today. And this was written by Reverend John Waterhouse on the Daily Guides for Science of Mind magazine this month, published by Centers for Spiritual Living. By being still, receptive, and consciously aware, we allow that deeper wisdom to guide our thoughts and actions. In other words, our minds exist within the one mind. which contains all intelligence and all imagination. When we become aware of our oneness, we can access the same wisdom that guides the cosmos. And I love how you've been talking about that, James, and your openness and that listening. And as I said, you're reminding me of that book, The Universe is Calling. And so, and again, the idea that peace in our world, I'm going to have you share again about the activities there, what you in the villages there, and about the garden there. I hope you don't mind, because it's so profound and reminds us that how we're all a part of this. The garden's there, and about the watering. So I'm going to revisit that here before we go on and have you share again what you told us about just a few minutes ago.
Yes, so a few years ago, as the world was picking up in conflictuous speed, the mayor here of the village felt the call to do something about it, what he can. And there is this initiative called Villages for Peace, Peace Villages, which is a global network. And he decided to join this network. And at the same time, a different person from the village, actually, who spent a lot of time in Japan, decided that he's going to initiate a Sunday meeting on the village square for people to meet and just to meditate and pray for peace in the world. And it is still ongoing. It is happening every Sunday. Some Sundays there is just a few people. Sometimes there is more people. But it continues to go on, and people are sending their vibes out into the world for peace.
Mm-hmm. I love that. And as you're speaking, and I put that banner up there, Villages for Peace, if people want to learn more about that, and reminding us, that we are about the human family. We are global citizens, and you're reminding us of, because sometimes we tend to see what is right here, right around us, right? And this is reminding us about the activities that are happening in Spain, and reminding us that they're happening all around the world. And sometimes, often we don't realize that. And so this is reminding all of us and what each of us do. And you're reminding us also about this common thread of peace. You've traveled to different countries and different cultures, and there are these common threads, right, of love and of peace.
Absolutely. It is one of the big discoveries of my life, having lived and worked in 7 different countries. This is country number 7, where I'm setting up camp. And I realized from the outside, it may look quite different. People may wear different clothes. They may eat different things. Even the way they interact may be very different. Like, for example, in Scandinavia, in the northern countries, people tend to be very introverted. They don't tend to talk a lot to each other. While here in Spain, it is unbelievable when there is visitors here at the finca for lunch, the amount of talk that is happening during lunch, and the amount of subjects that they jump from left to right and so on. But in the end, we are all the same. We want peace. We want food. We want a roof over our head. We want the basics. And we are very, very similar. And the other things, I called them the salt in the soup. It's what makes the world interesting, these differences,
Oh, I love that. The salt in the soup. I love that. And that's a beautiful example of that. And oh my goodness. And we were talking earlier at the beginning, and we hear about the fires and so forth, and how, see, this is reminding us to think about our fellow citizens around the world. And even if we haven't traveled, I'm sorry to say that I haven't traveled very much around the world. It's just it's just how my life has unfolded. Although I do look forward to doing more of that. So, and many other people are that way. But to remind us again, to think and to know and be aware of again our human family, the global citizens of the world. And I love what you were saying about the different ways that the people in Scandinavia, I think you said, are more reserved, and they're in Spain, and to recognize that and appreciate that. So thank you for pointing that out. That's so wise. And you had talked about earlier too about the different ways of the different practices and spiritual practices you talked about with meditation and what they're doing there, right, with meditation and prayer. And tell us about that, because the different spiritual practices and how that thinking about these ideas is helpful, and then spiritual practices deepens that, right? And I'm going to have you talk about that.
Yes, for being a Spanish village here, it is interesting how many Asian influences we have here. I told about the man, Pepe, who has started the Sunday congregations on the village place for peace. He actually spent a lot of his life living in Japan, and he is a practitioner of Aikido, and he calls it the peaceful martial art, because it is not an aggressive martial art. It is at the very most taking the energy that is coming towards you and transforming it. Then we have Gonzalo. Gonzalo is also very active in these peace activities. He used to be very involved with circus. He was running a circus school in Madrid. And now he has settled here in the south of Spain. And he's giving Qigong lessons every Saturday morning in one of the small villages. Everybody can go there. It is free. You don't have to pay anything. You just have to turn up in the morning. That's the only caveat. And then for about an hour, you're doing breathing and movement exercises there. And it is the same there, how I noticed that sometimes myself, when I go there, or other people who go there, depending on what has happened. I told you earlier before we came on that a few days ago we could actually smell forest fires here, wildfires. We could smell the smoke even though they were 20 kilometers away. And there is stress. Everybody in life experiences stress. And I always noticed the difference from when we arrive. The first people who arrive, we're talking, and there is a little bit more speed in the people. And after that hour of breathing exercises, everybody is inner peace. And there we are again. And I think we spoke about it in preparation for this, that you can only spread peace if you are at peace with yourself. Something that I have noticed a lot in this region.
That's a beautiful example. Thank you for sharing that. Oh, if you're at peace yourself. And that's a real nugget here of what we're talking about. And I love what you're saying about the people that are leading these activities, and to open up to these kind of opportunities for nurturing that peace within, these different practices. And there isn't the idea that there isn't a way, one specific way that works for everybody. There are all these different ways to nurture it. And whether it's there in person in these different activities you're talking about, or on YouTube, how you talked about how you watched and learned about Centers for Spiritual Living, and then you are going to be doing more on YouTube here. And so the helpful thing is to open up to that, to practice that regular noticing. Oh yes, oh, you've got something. Yes, to it.
Yes, I actually do have something. I have a confession to make.
Oh,
You know, this plan of writing a book. I told you before, the 100 plus chapter titles that I have made years ago, and I never got beyond chapter 2 writing it out. The idea of doing it as a YouTube channel, of doing individual episodes of these stories, also has been in my head for quite a while. And what actually really got me going was last Sunday. Of course, now since I have been searching for centers for spiritual living, YouTube is suggesting things. And last Sunday, just as I opened the computer, there was a live stream going on by, is it called the Desert Center or the Center of the Desert? I'm not sure anymore exactly
Yes.
what it is called. But YouTube suggested that to me. And I clicked on it, and first of all, I was absolutely amazed by the songs. The people who were, that's when I entered the live stream, they were just singing, and it was so beautiful. It made me cry when I saw it. And then the actual talk that was given was by Reverend William. And the title of his talk was "It's Time."
Oh.
And this episode, the first one that I have put on now on my YouTube channel, Out of the Dark, it happened this week. It happened because I saw this service last Sunday and I took it to heart and I thought, okay, it's time. And I still, on Sunday evening, I thought I should go and film, and I still procrastinated. On Monday, I had some technical issues. I could have still gone, but then I decided, the sun is already a bit low. I won't do it today. But on Tuesday, I did. I went out there, just a few hundred meters from here is where I took those images. And I did it, and I decided I'm not going to edit. That's why it's 18 minutes long, and there is only some B-roll at the start and at the end. I didn't want to start to procrastinate in the editing progress. I said, I am going to put it out there. There's 16 minutes in there with me just talking. And if somebody likes the story, they will listen to it. So thank you.
Oh, my goodness. Thank you for sharing that. How about that? You opened your computer, the wonderful way that infinite intelligence works. And that you saw that link to the live stream, and that is the CSL. Oh my goodness! Well, there you can look, and the Centers for Spiritual Living. There's csl.org to learn the locations and centers for spiritual living all around the world, actually. And you connected with one in the desert, and that. And yes, inspired you, the music, the message, and how it inspired you to something new. What was the title? Something new, or now is the time?
It's time. The title of the talk was just "It's Time," and it is all about basically. I think the image they have put on is a watch and somebody pointing at the watch. It is just, if you feel called to do something, now is the time to do it. It will never be perfect. I have for a long time been chasing perfection, and it doesn't exist. If you chase perfection, you will never publish. So, I just felt a kitty cat coming.
Oh,
but she hasn't jumped up yet.
Oh,
Here
well,
he is.
we're happy to meet her.
I'll have to show him. This is Panda.
Yeah. Oh,
Yes.
Kitty. Hi, Kit. What a
I have
beautiful.
mother and son, and this is the son.
Oh, handsome Kitty. Oh my goodness. Oh, yes. You felt it was time. It was time for you to come and jump up and say hello. How about that?
He's going to be a star. He's also in Out of the Dark. In my YouTube episode. Yes. He followed me over there and he didn't like it. He was meowing all the way, telling me, don't go so far, don't go so far. But in the end, he wanted to be in the picture.
They do let us know, and the wisdom, the wisdom and the love of our pets. Oh, I love that Kitty is in here and in videos. That's life. And thinking about your going back to what you were saying, how you heard that message, and how but it's that openness, that listening, that you heard that and you listened to that, and that's so helpful and important, to listen to the guidance, and the ideas, the encouragement of life, of infinite intelligence encouraging you. Now is the time. And I love that you share that. There's a wonderful book, one of my favorite books, 7,000 Ways to Listen by Mark Nepo. And it's a beautiful book, and reminding us of nurturing that quality of listening. And I'm glad that you brought that up, because it's an important part of nurturing peace is listening, right? Listening within, listening to the people all around. You're talking about the different cultures and hearing people talk and about the common themes of life. And you're a wonderful example of that, of listening, for infinite wisdom, for the ideas, the guidance, and go out and film. And now is the time. And so, all kinds of wonderful things that you've shared. We're coming to the end of our dialogue here for today, but we will do this again, because you have some new things that you'll be adding. And I have the YouTube channel up, and I invite people to go there and watch what you have now and what you will be adding. And I will share again your website also. And so good for you for listening and for allowing. And one more thing, I think it's wonderful. You said some of these ideas have been down there for a long time, right? Some of these ideas have, and that's
Years.
okay. So wherever we are in our life experience, there's something to listen to allow for us to, we're continually unfolding. And the Ernest Holmes, the founder of the New Thought Teaching of Science of Mind, would speak of the soul forever and ever expanding. We are forever and ever expanding and unfolding, always. And whether we've been in this teaching or any teaching for a long, long time, or practicing meditation or affirmative prayer for a long time, there's still always more to learn, right? To unfold and to grow. And you're a wonderful example of that. And so before we finish, any closing remarks here, and again, we'll have you back again, because there will, to continue the conversation, but anything you'd like to share before we finish here?
I am very, very grateful for the opportunity that you gave me for being here today. I send out peace to everybody who is and will be listening, and to the whole world. And if you have an idea, I would just say, just go for it. Don't wait. It's time.
It's time. There you go. Just allow that expression, shine who you are. Oh, that's beautiful, beautiful. Such wisdom and such beautiful life experiences. And I am so grateful that you joined us today. And I see Kitty walking back there. Yes. One more time we get to see Kitty. And I'm just finishing up here too. So thank you. Peace and blessings, and namaste. We look forward to seeing you again. All right, bye for now.
Thanks for being here and
Bye-bye.
taking this time to practice peace with us. Join us again next week, Thursdays at 9 a.m. on the New Thought Media Network for another live session. And you can always catch past episodes on our YouTube channel. Until then, sending you waves of peace and blessings. We'll see you next time.